Welcome to Camaraderie, a place where accidents happen. Today's episode is sponsored by this accidents. This little today's sponsor is this little tiny Canon F1. I think it's pretty cool, neat, nifty. It's very accurate. None of the parts move except for this little lever on the bottom that pops out a flash drive. Intros. Intro time. So today's video is, it's not about accidents, it's just accidental things happen. To me specifically, a lot. Whether or not I was actually an accident, I don't know. You'll have to ask my parents. I never thought to bring up the subject, but I don't think I was, but I might have been. I don't think I was an accident. That's beside the point, and not why we're here today. But what was an accident is me finding out that there's this little town in North Carolina called Eureka, and I looked it up and saw it was about an hour away, and I just wanted to go and shoot some film there, some Kentmere 400, of course, because in the last handful of years I've been really intrigued by, or just fascinated by, small town Carolina, north, south, whatever, really anywhere in like the southeast. Small towns are just kind of really interesting to me to see, like, where they are, how they're adapting to society, if they're adapting to society. So yeah, no, I just have a little special place in my heart for the small town south. So I got in my car and went down to Eureka, North Carolina, and I found out that the eastern half of North Carolina almost got pretty wrecked by a couple of nuclear bombs falling. Yeah, nuclear bombs almost fell just outside of Eureka, North Carolina, and it's just, man, the way... what are the odds, The universe is just like, hey, go to Eureka, find out something crazy. And so I did, and yeah, let's get on the road. Eureka is about an hour east of Raleigh, and it is the definition of a one-stoplight town. They have a population of 187 people, a gas station, a mini-mart, a local restaurant, 3 churches, and then they also have a town hall. They do have a town hall, which is the smallest town hall I've ever seen, and it was also their post office. Maybe the smallest post office I've ever seen, and a visitor center. And that's Eureka. That's it. You can literally stand on a corner and see the entire thing. But yeah, when I got there, I wasn't expecting much, but I saw a sign that said nuclear mishap. And what happened is in 1961, a B-52 was carrying 2 3.8 megaton nuclear bombs. And they had a fuel leak, and it got so bad that they lost control of the plane, went into a tailspin, and the bay doors just opened, and the bombs fell out. The crew, most of the crew ejected. 5 of them landed safely, 1 did not, and then 2, I guess, went down with the plane. And the bombs didn't go off, which is fantastic, because otherwise I think North Carolina would be, really the U.S. would be a much different place. Everything within, like, I think I read like 15 kilometers around the blast site would have just been annihilated, more or less, because these bombs that didn't go off were about 250 times more powerful than the ones that dropped on Hiroshima. So the fallout would have gone from, well, the radioactive fallout would have gone from the blast site just north of Eureka and all the way like through Washington, D.C. and up to the southern parts of New York. So that's, New York City, and it would have been bad. It would have been really bad. Pretty much just went straight up. The fallout would have gone straight up the East Coast. And yeah, so it's a good thing it didn't. One of the nuclear bombs deployed a parachute and landed in a tree, or got caught in a tree, and they were able to completely recover that one. But the other one slammed into a swampy farm area, pretty much disintegrated on impact. But they never got the core of the warhead out. It's still there. They buried it, or put a bunch of concrete around it or something, but that's still there. It's not fully recovered, so that's comforting. I don't know which of the two bombs it was, but one of them was a switch away from actually going off. Obviously there's a bunch of different steps that you have to go through for a nuke to detonate. And I guess in all the hullabaloo of the plane crash, some of the switches got flipped somehow. And it was the last one that it was the arming switch of it was still on off, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I haven't done a deep dive into the research of this specific incident, but everything was declassified in 2013. So if you want to look it up, just look up the Goldsboro incident. Goldsboro is the closest actual city or actually bigger town nearby. So yeah, I thought that was fascinating, and I was just we were super close to I don't know, the radioactive fallout would have gone up the East Coast. The political fallout would have gone nationwide. Is on your side. It would have gone across the nation. There would have been major ramifications in the political landscape of the U.S. and how the Cold War would have shaped out and everything. So I don't know. It's just what are the odds that I see somebody? I don't even remember where I saw the name Eureka, North Carolina, but I saw it and I just went there, and then all of a sudden, it sent me down this crazy rabbit hole of unpacking all of this nuclear stuff. And yeah, it's just in the middle of nowhere. I don't know. I just thought it was crazy. What are the odds that this random small town that I happen to go to, I just see a marker that there was a nuclear mishap here, and I was just what? And that's one of the reasons why I like going to these really small towns. But anyways, you never know what you're gonna find. I did get a couple neat shots of some old dilapidated buildings that look cool and have character and all that kind of stuff. But other than that, though, I didn't find much of anything in Eureka. So I saw there was another small town 6 miles up the road called Fremont. This actually was more of what I think of when I think of small southern town. It has a main street, it has some restaurants, and there's actually stuff there. It has a downtown. It's not much of one, but it's quaint. It's very quaint. I had a good time just walking around and seeing You know, nice little Freemasons Lodge. Fremont does have a much more established post office and a much grander town hall than Eureka does. Yeah, one of the things that just like kind of, I don't know, it says a lot. I guess this is kind of how a lot of southern towns in the South are. Like, there's just a bunch of boarded up windows. There's not many people coming through. There's not a lot of business. I'm sure the poverty level is pretty low or high, however that works. But just a lot of old mid to early century storefronts that just have so much character, but there's nothing in them. And it makes me a little bit sad. And I want to capture more of these places before they're just gone completely. I really like this one just with the shadow cast from the painting on the glass. You know, it's just, I don't know, it's something classic that speaks to me, I suppose. And then I went behind the main street down an alley just to see what was back there. I was just curious, and I found a lot of great textural things with a bunch of interesting angles, and yeah, these ended up being my favorite shots from the day. I was shooting my Kentmere 400, pushed one stop to an ISO of 800, but yeah, you know, I think the shooting at 800 gave these old textures a little bit more grit and grain. Yeah, I found this one spot for rent that honestly I kind of want to rent it. Might need money for that, but you know, I love this shot as well just because, I don't know, it's got a weird leading line with the trash and recycling cans or bins, and then it kind of makes this weird, it leads your eye from left to right into this little center area. I don't know, I just like, it's just nice. I like it. And with that, I was done with my little sojourn out to the east to Eureka and Fremont. There wasn't any grand purpose behind doing this other than just to go explore and get out of the house and go see something that I haven't seen before. And then it eventually ended up leading me down this crazy historical rabbit hole with all the nuclear stuff. And that's one of the things I like the most about photography. You never know where it's going to take you. Let me know in the comments if there's any small towns near you, or if you live in a small town, that's great. It doesn't have to be in the South, whatever. Let me know in the comments if, you know, if there's any like cool little stories about these small towns that you either live in or live nearby. And if you are in the South, I would especially love to know, just because they're more reachable for me, and I want to go to these places and at least capture, you know, something about them before they go away forever, because that's where a lot of these places are going. They're sooner or later, they are either going to be entirely ghost towns or just redone in a way that they will be unrecognizable to what they are today. So otherwise, do the old LSS, like, share, subscribe, and I think that's it. Yeah, I'll be on this side of the lens in the next video, so until then, bye.